You don't lose a team in one bad month. You lose them one foggy morning at a time. Every unclear goal, every meeting with no outcome or mission, every just figure it out moment chips away at belief. And belief drives confidence, and confidence drives execution. Most people don't burn out because they're lazy or they don't care about the goals. They suffocate in the smoke of confusion. And in the team war, your first enemy is not your people, it's the fog. And it's your job to clear it, because if you don't clear it, they will follow somebody else who will. I'm Chris Hunsaker, and this is the Dealership War Room. Leadership fire, 7 minutes, built daily, fueled intentionally, and delivered relentlessly. And you've all week received emails from me talking about the Velocity Mastermind program that we're launching in November. This week, I pull back the curtain and show you exactly what's happening and why some of the elite dealership groups in this country are calling it a force multiplier. Now, if you haven't received the emails, check your spam. If it's still not in the spam, then text us to the number on the screen, give us a good email address, and we'll resend you the entire batch because you do not want to miss this. Last week, we fought the inner war, that battle between your emotions and your mission. And this week, we're going to turn outward to the team war. And that battle is between your leadership and their beliefs. And battle number one is clarity versus confusion. Here's what kills culture faster than turnover: mixed messages. When your standards shift because of your stress, when you kind of sort of explain the plan, when numbers shift mid-month with no explanation of why, your people stop listening. They don't quit the job. They quit the fog, because clarity is oxygen. And without it, energy dies, and it's emotion and drama that fills the void. Juan is a GSM that I coached, and he opened every single meeting with a rant about yesterday's numbers. No direction, just noise, and a whole lot of volume. We reworked his rhythm and built the entire process around this one question: what does winning look like today? 10 minutes, 3 lines on a whiteboard. That simple ritual created focus, predictability, and calm. The noise disappeared and production doubled. If you want consistency of execution, you must start by building clarity first. All consistency is built on a foundation of clarity. Confusion creates hesitancy. Clarity creates execution. There are 4 levels of clarity that every high-performing team has. But if you're missing any one of them, energy leaks, ownership erodes, and communication starts looping instead of landing. Those 4 together form a framework that I call the Clarity Cascade. And it starts with number 1, which is vision. What are we doing? Why are we here? Why do we even exist? Now, this isn't a slogan or a mission statement. This is giving meaning and purpose to everything that we do. It's a North Star that guides every decision, and it answers the question: what are we building and why does it matter? This applies to every process, every step, every system. Everything we do gets answered by what are we building and why does it matter? When vision is clear, people know why their work matters. They make decisions without waiting for permission because they know the framework. And they tie their daily actions to something that's bigger than just metrics. In other words, they're part of a team, a purpose, and a mission that matters, and they know why. When vision is foggy, your team starts to confuse activity with actual progress. And their motivation becomes far more extrinsic, where it's about the money or the pressure to not get in trouble and get stuff done, instead of intrinsic, where it's about purpose and meaning and mastery. And what you really know, the death rattle, is when you start hearing this and you think, what are we even doing? Why does it even matter? That's when you know the fog is winning. Wondering where you're at? Here's your test question. If I pulled all of your team aside and I asked them the question, what are we building and why? If I don't get the same answer from everybody, that right there is where the fog is beginning. The second level of the cascade in this clarity framework is roles. And this really comes down to who owns what. We're really looking for ownership and accountability. And when you have this, you go through every metric, every task, every system in your organization has to have a clear owner. Because if it's, well, everybody owns it, then you and I both know nobody owns it. There's no ownership there. You're coming back to every time you have a task, every system that you have in your company, every metric that matters to you has to have a clear individual single owner. When roles are clear, everybody knows their lane and they take pride in it. Collaboration happens without the territorial infighting. And delegation feels like empowerment and not abdication. When roles are unclear, then meetings just become a glorified form of finger pointing. The same one or two heroes carry the load for everybody else. And you constantly hear my favorite classic line, I thought someone else was handling it. Your test question here, does everyone in your organization know exactly what they own, what good looks like, and who they hand off to next? The third level in the cascade is rhythms, how we align for predictability and focus. Think of rhythms as your communication cadence. This is your meeting structure, feedback loops, pulse check-ins. And rhythms allow you and help you create focus and keep focus without having endless meetings. When rhythms are clear and consistent, everyone knows what alignment is. This is our daily huddle. We do a weekly one-on-one. We have a monthly scoreboard review. Priorities stay visible and connected to the mission, and everybody can see it. And emotion doesn't dictate focus, rhythm does. When rhythms are inconsistent, then priorities, they shift from week to week. People, they're in reaction mode, and the information, it gets trapped inside of silos. Here's your test question. Do we have a consistent rhythm of alignment that keeps everybody connected to the mission? This is who I am and this is what I do, and not just when there's a problem and all hands on deck when we create the firefighter focus. The fourth level of the cascade is feedback. It's how we learn, and its purpose is to build learning loops and trust. At its core, feedback is how you close the gap between what we said and what actually happens. It's the mechanism that turns performance into progress. When feedback is clear and healthy, we celebrate and study the wins, not take them for granted. And misses are data, not drama. And people feel safe giving and receiving truth, things as they really are, not as we wish they would be. When feedback is missing, or worse yet, when it's toxic, small problems become big ones. People hide mistakes instead of fixing them. And growth stalls because no one really knows what's working or why. And your test question for this? In our company, in our team, are we constantly talking about what worked, what didn't, and what we learned without blame? Miss any one, and the fog rolls back in. But here's a deeper truth. Your team will only see as clearly as you do. If your mind is cluttered, your message will be too. You cannot lead your people out of the fog if you're still stuck in it. Clarity at all four levels creates velocity. It's momentum without the chaos. Because when clarity becomes rhythm, then your culture becomes self-reinforcing. So before you ask for more execution, stop and ask yourself, have I painted a picture so clear that my people can feel it? Because you might not have an execution problem. You might have a clarity issue. Your mission for today, the execution bridge, write your victory statement, one sentence that defines absolutely and clearly what does winning look like this month. For example, every customer will walk out of the showroom having and feeling trusted, seen, and served, and we will close at 40%. Put it where everybody can see it. Quote it until they can repeat it back, verbatim. Clarity is not a meeting, it's a rhythm. So show it, say it, repeat it, and win with it. Battle one is clarity. Congratulations. Tomorrow we march into consistency, because clarity without consistency, it's just a speech, it's noise. But if you want to become an execution ninja and you want to master clarity and absolutely dial in execution on your team, then text the word team to the number that you see on the screen, and we'll let you download our AI execution tool that will absolutely help you dominate and win the team war. Until then, go out today, clear the fog, create some leadership fire, and I'll see you tomorrow in the dealership war room.